Hey y'all, today I'm here to show you guys how to apply your measurements to your canvas blockhead. You're gonna need some measuring tape, some T-pins, a pair of scissors, and some scotch tape, and of course the canvas blockhead of your choice. Today we will be doing it on a size 22-inch GEX canvas blockhead. So the first thing that I'm gonna go ahead and do is measure right in the center of the canvas blockhead 9 inches going up to the top. Now each canvas blockhead does have lines on it already, and there is a center line, so that's where I am going to go ahead and place the measuring tape and tack it down 9 inches from the bottom. Now as you guys can see, that is exactly 9 inches from the bottom of the canvas blockhead. Now I'm going to go ahead and spin my measuring tape around, and now I'm going to do the measurement from the front of the canvas blockhead all the way down to the back, and that's about 15 inches. Now I try not to cover up the size of the canvas blockhead just so that I know what size the canvas blockhead is when I'm ready to work on it. So I stop my measuring tape right above that, which is about 15 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and use a T-pin and tack that down as well. Now after I tack that down, I am going to go ahead and cut that measuring tape at about 15.5 inches. I like to have that extra ½ inch there just to make it easier for me to tape everything down in the end, and you guys will see that in just a few. So the next measurement that I am going to go ahead and do is temple to temple, and you want to make sure that you're placing your measuring tape along the widest section of the canvas blockhead in that area. And I like to start my measuring tape right at that outer line that you guys see on the measuring tape. And the line that you see on the canvas blockhead. So I'm going to go ahead and use a T-pin to tack the end of that measuring tape down, and I'm going to stretch this all the way around to the next line on the other side of the canvas blockhead, and I'm going to use a T-pin to tack that down as well, and that measurement will end at about 34 inches. Now keep in mind that I am using the same exact measuring tape to do all the measurements on this canvas blockhead. You can use more than one measuring tape if you want your numbers to start from 1 on each measuring side, but just to eliminate using so much measuring tape, I just used one. So I did go ahead and tack that end down, and as you guys can see, now we got a nice little T form. So now the next thing that I'm going to do is my measurements from ear to ear. Now usually if someone is getting a frontal, the frontal will be about 13 inches going from ear to ear. So on my measuring tape, I am counting 13 inches of measuring tape, and I am going to fold that measuring tape in half just so I can find that middle point, and then I'm going to match that middle point up to the top of the canvas blockhead, and then we're going to go ahead and tack it down. So as you guys can see, I'm folding it in half, and this length is about 13 inches. Now at the top of the canvas blockhead, usually, like I said, your frontals or your closures is 13 by 4 or 13 by 6 or 5 by 5, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to place that top measuring tape right before the 5-inch mark at the top of the canvas blockhead. Then I'm going to go ahead and use a T-pin to tack that down, and I'm going to stretch the remainder of that measuring tape down and tack those ends down as well. Now, when you guys are applying your measuring tape, you want to make sure that the measuring tape is laying nice and flat across the canvas blockhead, because as you're making your wigs, you don't want to feel any lumps or bumps, or you don't want your measuring tape to move. So just make sure everything is laying nice and flat. Now we're going to do the measurements of the nape. Now I usually like to do about 6 inches, because you never know how big or small someone's nape of their neck is. So I like to have a little bit extra just in case, so I at least can see the measurement of the bottom. So I do about 6 inches. I am going to go ahead and fold it in half, And I'm going to put that half mark, that middle mark, right on top of the end of the measuring tape that I do have created for the center line. So I'm going to place that right in the middle, right above that 15 mark. And I'm going to go ahead and tack that down with a T-pin. Right now, I'm just continuing to make sure that that measuring tape is laying nice and flat across the canvas blockhead, because there is a curve in the back of the canvas blockhead. So you want to make sure that the tape is laying nice and flat. Now I'm going to go ahead and tack down the nape tape with the T-pins, and that's pretty much it. The next step, all you have to do is use your Scotch tape to tape down all of the loose ends of the measuring tape, and anywhere that you see is lifting up or not laying flat onto the mannequin head. This process is super easy and very important when it comes to wig making. I really hope that this video was very informational for you guys, and you guys can see exactly how I do my measurements for my canvas blockhead.